What is going on, everybody? It is me again. It's HorrorFan34, and welcome to another video. And once again, welcome to another horror convention recap video. This is going to be my recap video from the Showboat Horror Con in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Just went for one day on Friday. This is my third convention recap video I'm doing in like a month. This one I couldn't pass up either because there were some really good guests here I really wanted to grab. So this was another great one. This is my second time I was ever actually at this horror con. The first time I went to this one was October 2019, and of course that was the last con I went to before, you know, everything hit the fan pretty much, and we were all in quarantine and things like that. And I think this horror con was supposed to be that year in March, but of course that was when everything was first going down, and they had to cancel it. Along with the Monster Mania one they had with the Child's Play reunion, that was going to be that year too, but of course everything had to get shut down because of various reasons. But I'm glad that the horror cons are back up again. Going to do the same thing with this one that I did with the other horror convention recaps, where I'm going to tell you the first, like, the encounters with the celebrity, then I'll do a picture of me and the celebrity, a picture of them signing my item, and I'll throw in like other pictures and other videos. And there's actually a video of the clip that'll be spliced in here very soon, but I'll get to that in a second with one of the celebrities. But I got a ton of pictures with this one at this con, so this is going to be a really fun recap to do. So without further ado, let's get on to the stars that I met. So the first one, I was going to meet Susan Backliney, who played Chrissy, the first victim in the first Jaws movie, but she was only for Saturday and Sunday only, not for Friday. So because I went Friday, I couldn't get to meet her, so I decided to replace her with two guests, and sort of like two guests for one, like substituting one guest with two, which I was really glad that I went with two guests, because the two guys that I met in place of Susan Backliney were awesome, because that's the first one I'm going to be talking about. His table was right there, just like with the Showboat. There's only two separate rooms, like the vendor rooms in like the lobby area, the hotel, and there's like a back room, or I think where they hold like dinners and things like that. It's like a really huge room, big square outline. I tell you what, it was very empty for a Friday, and I'm guessing a lot of people probably didn't travel because, of course, the Hurricane Ida that it hit pretty good here. A lot of floods and things like that. A lot of things were backed up and roads were closed and things like that. So it was very, very sad. Some of the people that have lost their lives during the hurricane, and very, very tragic. So hopefully anybody who was affected by the hurricane, things like that, hope you are safe and you're okay. I know there was a couple tornadoes in like Jersey and things like that, so it was pretty bad. But so I guess that's why maybe a lot of people didn't travel out, even though it was Labor Day weekend. Maybe a lot of people didn't travel out because of the hurricane, and a lot of things were blocked off. That's probably why. But it was an empty horror con. All these people that I went up to that I wanted to meet had like no line at all. Had no line whatsoever. All these were like walk right up, and I got to chat with each one of these people for probably 20 minutes apiece. So it was really, really cool. So the first one that I met, because he was right there, this guy was the highlight for me of the con. And this was one of the two people that I substituted in for Susan Backliney, and that, of course, is Keith Coogan. Keith Coogan, of course, Brad from Adventures in Babysitting, and he was in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, but I got him on Toy Soldiers, which I love Toy Soldiers, sort of like Die Hard in a boarding school, pretty much. Andrew Divoff is the villain, and the kids of the film that are the heroes, you have Keith Coogan, Will Wheaton, and Sean Astin. So pretty cool little cast of people. So I got Keith Coogan on my Toy Soldiers Blu-ray. Keith Coogan was a ball of energy, really, really funny, really talkative, very nice guy. his agent was actually, I believe, his wife, and she was really really nice too, his wife. And very talkative guy. Told a lot of really cool stories, talking about what it was like working with Andrew Devoff, and how Andrew Devoff, of course, the Wishmaster himself, is a really big animal lover, loves animals and things like that. He was saying, like, you never would have thought Andrew Devoff was like the sweetest soul around if you saw him on screen. And just said he's like the sweetest soul you could ever think of. He's worked with him a few times along with Tammy Lauren. He was telling some stories about that. A very talkative guy. Yeah, I actually showed him photos of my two dogs that I have, and we were talking about that for a little bit, things like that. He was really funny. He was cracking jokes. Keith Coogan was just a ball of fun, and I'll get into these pictures and I'll show you why. So when Keith Coogan's table, he had two big tables and he had a lot of stuff. So whoever met Keith Coogan, his wife said you get a special gift, and it was like a big bag, and it was like dollar store stuff, like pencils and little mini games that you play with, like a little pinball inside them and things like that. So I thought it was I thought that was pretty adorable, to be honest. I thought that was fairly cute. I was even saying to Keith Coogan's agent, his wife, I feel like I'm back in kindergarten again, picking out a toy and things like that. So, very, very funny. They were just both the ball to meet and things like that. And Keith Coogan had behind his table, he had an Adventures in Babysitting backdrop, and Keith Coogan, with the way we took pictures and all that stuff, he took 3 pictures with me for selfies, because that's how we did our pictures together, was with selfies. We did a normal one, and then we did like holding up the rock signs, and then we did a silly one where we're making silly faces, and then after we were done that, he insisted that we go into the backdrop of the Adventures in Babysitting, impersonate the poster. So it looks like we're like doing this like on the poster, like Elizabeth Shue and all them, and we're making funny faces like like looking at the camera. And Keith Coogan did a really cool thing I never you can do with my phone. What he did was, to make it look like the poster, after we were done taking the pictures, he took my phone and he like flipped it and like push this button, and he flipped the picture over it and made it really look like we were on the poster of the movie. So I tell you, Keith Coogan, I'm so glad I was able. I met him. He was a ball of fun. Just really really nice guy. So there's going to be a lot of pictures with Keith Coogan. And he was actually the one that did a video clip for my YouTube channel, just like how Felissa Rose did hers for mine. So there's a lot of pictures for this, so I'm going to have a lot of them. So here is the normal picture of me and Keith Coogan. Like I said, this is the selfie. This is the selfies because he took them himself. So here's the normal picture of me and Keith Coogan together. And then here is the picture of us doing the rock symbol. And then here is the silly face one. And also here is a picture of Keith Coogan signing my Toy Soldiers Blu-ray sleeve. And here is a picture of the autographed item of that. And of course, here is the picture that me and that his wife took of us doing the Adventures in Babysitting backdrop that he had, and when he cropped the phone and to make it look like we were on the poster and things like that. So here's that photo. Yeah, so that was one of my personal favorite experiences at a convention was Keith Coogan. Big thumbs up for him. And a little parting gift for me, he stuck inside of my Blu-ray case. Well, actually, too, I forgot to mention this picture, too. He actually gave me 2 autographs. He signed the Blu-ray disc without even asking. He just signed it very willingly. He didn't have to do that. So, it's just a very nice guy. But I forgot to show that one. So, Here's the second autograph that Keith Coogan signed on the Blu-ray disc. Okay, so go back to what I was saying before. A little parting gift he stuck inside of my Blu-ray case. It was a little note card that had his website, his wife's website, both of their Twitter pages and their Instagram pages. So that was really, really cool. Just a really nice guy, Keith Coogan. Very, very humble guy. Very funny, and overall just a fantastic guy. So Keith Coogan, big thumbs up for him.
What is going on, everybody? I'm Horror Fan 34. I am live here at the Showboat HorrorCon in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and I'm here with the awesome Keith Coogan.
Oh, thanks. Hey guys, thanks for watching, and the dishes are done, man. Rock and roll!
Okay, so next up here we have Casey DePaiva. Of course, if you know her, if you're a big soap opera fan, she was in Days of Our Lives. But if you're a horror fan, you know her as Bobby Joe from Evil Dead 2. I love Evil Dead 2. It's my favorite Evil Dead film. So, Casey DePaiva, really nice lady. Just a sweet lady. Talked to her for probably 10-15 minutes. Just a really, really nice lady. A couple funny moments with her. After I got my picture taken with her and I was walking away, she thanking me for coming out, things like that. I realized I didn't realize I left the 11x17 poster that I got her to sign off her table was the Evil Dead 2 poster, and she's like, "Oh, you forgot something." I'm like, "Oh," and she's like, "What? You don't want it?" and I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, and we were like laughing about that and things like that. So, Casey DePaiva is a really, really nice lady. Talked to her about. She was asking me if my favorite Evil Dead, if I was a fan of Evil Dead 2, when I said it's my favorite, and she really, really enjoyed that. It's just a really, really nice lady, Casey DePaiva. So here is my picture with Casey DePaiva. And here is a picture of her signing the Evil Dead 2 11x17. And here is the actual autographed item. Alright, moving on here. The next one that I met up here was Eric Freeman. If you're a big horror fan, Eric Freeman, you know him as Ricky from Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. I felt bad for Eric Freeman because he virtually had no line at all. I mean, a lot of these people had no lines, and Eric Freeman was kind of looking down. He looked a little lonely, so I decided to boost up his day a little bit and meet him and things like that. So went up to Eric Freeman, and I'm by the way too, all these people that I've met, and even the celebrities, they mentioned my Andrew Dice Clay shirt, and they were commenting on Andrew Dice Clay. So before I met, I think, Casey DePaiva, I was talking with another con-goer, and here comes Alan Kaiser from Mama's Family and Night of the Creeps, and he was coming up and he was pointing at my shirt. He's like, "Dude, I love that frickin' shirt." He was telling his own Andrew Dice Clay story about how he saw him at a comedy show, and he was doing a Dice Clay impression. We were talking about that. We were laughing our asses off and things like that. So I forgot to mention that part, but that was a pretty cool moment. And same thing with Eric Freeman. Eric Freeman took notice of my Andrew Dice Clay shirt. He was telling me how he's a big Andrew Dice Clay fan. He was telling me that he's going to be doing a show coming up very soon in Atlantic City. I believe it was in Atlantic City. Stuff about that. So I talked to him for probably 15 minutes. So just a really, really nice guy, Eric Freeman. And I remember when I was meeting Eric Freeman after we were done, we were talking and things like that. We were talking about how bad the hurricane was and things like that. He was asking me if I was enjoying myself and things like that. I said I was having a great time. And this is a really cool story for me too, for Eric Freeman, because when Eric Freeman was signing, I got him to sign my Silent Night Deadly Night 2 Blu-ray, and he gave me 3 autographs. he signed three separate